and a number of others will be in Commerce Committee for much of the afternoon as well, so we may have to pause because they've been interested in coming over to vote. But we're going to start with Senator Putnam's bill, House File 1278, which is in the packets. We're actually working off the language in Senate File 2307. So that's the language you can work off, but we're going to merge that onto the bill number, House File 1278, in a few minutes. Senator Putnam, welcome to the committee, and please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members. It's great to see you again, especially talk about the important stuff that we had to talk about today. Senate File 2307 provides a one-time transfer of $40 million directly to the Disaster Assistance Contingency Account. This is an incredibly important opportunity for us to be responsible. In 2012, the Office of the Legislative Auditor asked for the creation of an account that would help out with disasters when federal aid is unavailable or when there is need for a match of federal aid, especially when the legislature is not in session. The Disaster Contingency Account was established soon after. This account is incredibly important, and it's used very frequently. In fact, just a couple months ago, on December 13th, in Aitkin, Carlton, Cass, Crow Wing, Lincoln, Pine, and St. Louis counties all got a grant of $4 million as a result of damage caused by heavy snowstorms and high winds. That's just one event. Mr. Chair and members. Since the creation of this account, it's paid out around $22 million a year in this account. Right now, Mr. Chair and members, we're down to $750,000 in this account. The time is now to fill the bank again. You know, I saw in KARE 11 just last week, meteorologists are predicting a 90% chance of historic flooding in the St. Croix River. Right now, as we speak, sandbags are being filled. Our communities are being responsible. Now it's our turn. I want to thank the Minority Leader Johnson for his support of this bill that he expressed in the Rules Committee, and to all of you for listening to this incredibly important issue, and hopefully for your support of the bill.
Are there questions from the committee? Senator Draheim and then Senator Murphy.
Thank you, Chair Marty, and thank you for bringing this bill forward. I think it's really important that we do refill this and prepare, and I appreciate you bringing it forward, and I urge a yes vote.
Thanks.
Senator Murphy.
Thanks, Mr. Chair and Senator Putnam. Thank you for bringing this forward, and I was grateful to hear your filling in the question that I had in my mind about how much we spend annually roughly out of this account. So if we proceed, and I support this, we will be replenishing the account for perhaps a couple of years. Is that the trajectory of this account since it was put in place in 2013?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the question, Senator Murphy. That's my understanding. What I learned today from Mr. Nauman was that typically in past years we do about $30 million per biennium. And this is going to be a historic year when it comes to these kinds of circumstances and these kinds of tragedies. I'm going to steal Mr. Nauman's joke, but I told him I would. And then he calls this the special session avoidance bill, because we have to have special sessions to respond to these kinds of events if we aren't prepared beforehand. And this is our opportunity to be prepared beforehand, especially when you think of greater Minnesota. And you think of some of the dilapidation and the lack of maintenance that we've done on our water treatments, our water sewer situations in greater Minnesota. Floods are going to be bad this year. So we need to take care of this.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Chair and Senator Putnam. And you don't have to live in Minnesota very long to understand that natural disaster can strike anywhere. And that our responsibility, if we are thinking ahead, is to be ready for that. And this proposal does that. So I want to thank you for bringing it forward.
And Senator Putnam, based on the spending of $23 million a year and this potentially being a high year, we may be back next year with 40 may not be enough for 2 years anymore. Is there further discussion? If not, Senator Murphy moves that the title and contents of House File 1278 be stricken, replaced with the title and contents of Senate File 2307. So the Senate language will be put into the House file, which has come over. Is there any discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye. Oh, one of the members over in the other committee has requested to come over here to vote, so, oh, he makes the interest. All those in favor of the Murphy motion say aye. All those opposed? Motion prevails. On the bill, Senator Draheim moved Senate file, House file, excuse me, House File 1278 as amended be recommended to pass. On that motion, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. Senator Putnam, thank you. You're here to stay for your second bill, Senate File 1955.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Friends, for building suspense in what was otherwise a very drama-free presentation of the bill. Mr. Chair and members, today I bring before you the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Broadband, and Rural Development, our Omnibus bill that is I find a remarkably balanced and thoughtful approach to the concerns facing Minnesota's agriculture economy. Mr. Chair, members, over the past couple months, I've held a bunch of town halls and listening sessions with folks in agriculture in greater Minnesota. And from those conversations, we heard very clearly, with a resounding voice, an interest in three basic areas of concern that are not just addressed in this bill, but are the engine behind it. The first has to do with stability in a volatile industry and way of life. The second has to do with the future of farmers. And the third has to do with innovation. Mr. Chair and members, this bill reflects those three general areas. You will see, as you have information before you, about the actual concrete contents of the bill, and we'll do a walkthrough of it in just a moment. But in the meantime, I'd just like to highlight one thing in each of those areas to give you an idea of how we were thinking about our approach to helping Minnesota's agricultural economy and the people who make it run. We know that farming is a dynamic and volatile industry, and it can be a hard life. A lot of the farmers I talked to expressed a desire for greater stability and security. And we've done that in a number of ways. We've invested in the Farm Business Management Program that provides technical support for farmers to help them learn how to run their businesses most efficiently and most productively. We've invested in a Great Indemnity Fund to provide a little bit of safety and security for those who might not otherwise have that opportunity. And we're looking at the Dairy with an Eye program to help farmers invest in some price security by participating in a federal program. And we've put in some more cash into farmer mental health. We are working on supporting farmers to make their life as secure and stable as we can. Now, another consistent theme in my conversations with farmers was what's going to happen to the next generation of farmers, if that's intergenerational transfer or that's support of people who've never farmed before. But, Mr. Chair, members, you all know the price of land has gone up astronomically, and farming is already a capital-intensive occupation. So one of the things we've done is we're investing in some down payment assistance grants, a very popular program from last year that we're going to continue to fund so that new farmers can buy land and get land. We're looking at expanding and investing in meat packing plants, which currently are just not thriving the way they need to. We got a bottleneck when it comes to meat processing, and this is an opportunity for us to invest in new small businesses that will further our agricultural economy and grow small businesses, grow small farm and farm-like agricultural industries. So that's something that we're also investing in very thoroughly. So we are investing and working towards beginning and emerging farmers. Farmers are retiring. We need to help them retire because they've earned that right, but we need to make sure that what comes afterwards respects the traditions and the needs that we've got as an agricultural economy. And last, when it comes to innovation, we've invested in $2 million in soil health programs to help farmers expand their capacity to do sustainable agriculture. Farmers want to do this work, but the equipment is expensive. These resources will help people achieve those resources to farm in a way that's more productive for them and is better for the rest of us. We also fund the Forever Green program, which is an absolutely fascinating program at the U, developing cover crops and winter crops. We toured there just last Wednesday. Highly recommend it. It's absolutely amazing what they are doing with new crops. So we have focused on questions of stability, future farmers, and technological innovation. Today, agriculture exists in an anxious moment, and this bill is balanced and thoughtful response to that dynamic moment in a dynamic industry and livelihood. When you listen to the voice of the farmer, you can hear the challenges they face and the stress they feel. By passing this bill, we are doing what we can do to help. And I thank you for your time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Before you have a technical amendment, you want to deal with that before we do the walkthrough? Is that, it's not in the packets?
It's the A28, Mr. Chair.
A28.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Olson is going to tell us a little bit more about these technical changes in the amendment, if you're okay with that.
Mr. Olofsson, welcome to the committee, and please present the amendment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of this committee. So on the A28 before you, lines 1.2 through 1.3, just clarify the base appropriation for the noxious weed program. This was erroneously left out, so this matches the spreadsheet for $225,000 in base for fiscal year 2026 and thereafter. Lines 1.4 through 1.8 of the amendment just add clarification language for the base for this appropriation. Lines 1.9 through 1.10 clarify that the appropriation for the Northern Crop Institute is not a one-time appropriation. Again, on lines 1.11 through 1.13, it's again clarifying that the base for the is for this appropriation, so it's more clarification language. On lines 1.14 through 1.16 of the amendment, it clarifies that for the down payment assistance grants program, the funds appropriated in the first year are available until June 30th, 2025, and the funds appropriated in the second year are available until June 30th, 2026. And again, there's that base appropriation clarification language. On line 1.17 and 1.18 of the amendment, this deletes the carry forward. After discussions with Minnesota Department of Agriculture, they said all the funds are encumbered and no funds would be carried forward or canceled back to the general fund, so the additional language was not necessary. And then lines 1.19 through 1.21 just combines all the effective dates into one combined article effective date, essentially. So that's the amendment before you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If not, Senator Murphy moves the A28 technical amendment. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion prevails, 1.5 to 0. Sounded that way. Okay, you weren't very loud. Mr. Olofsson, you want to go through the spreadsheet first?
Sure. So in your packets, you should have two separate spreadsheets. One dated at 12:45 p.m. on April 10th, 2023. This is in the top right corner. This is a detailed spreadsheet that goes through all of the specific rider language and different transfers and just contains all the base appropriations. You will also find a second spreadsheet in front of you, a shorter spreadsheet that just contains the change items, which is what I'll walk through today. That spreadsheet is at 1:06 p.m. On April 10th. So just before we dive into the spreadsheet, though, I want to discuss our general fund targets for this bill. So for the fiscal year 2024 and 2025 biennium, our general fund targets were 148 million, with 100 million of that being for the Office of Broadband within DEED. And for fiscal year 2026 and 2027, the target was 40 million. And the Omnibus bill before you does exactly meet these targets. And just to give you a little context for the base appropriations before the previously mentioned above spending above the base, the current base spending for the Department of Agriculture, AURI, DEED Office of Broadband, and the Board of Animal Health for fiscal year 24-25 is 171.9 million. And then for the 26-27 biennium, it's 113.8 million as the base appropriation. So we're looking at 148 million above that for fiscal year 24-25 and 40 million above that for 26-27. So again, looking at the change item spreadsheet in front of you, we're going to begin. So just to orient you to the spreadsheet, column A includes like the departments, the agencies, the departments, and the specific riders within the bill. Column B includes what funds these are coming from. Column D includes the expenditures in fiscal year 22-20 for the current biennium 22-23. And then looking at where we'll focus today is on columns F and H. These include all the change items above the base. And so just to dive right into it, we'll start with the Department of Ag with their, the Department of Agriculture with their Protections Services Department. So looking at line 9, for maintaining current service levels, we see above the base of 1.9 million of additional spending in 24-25 and approximately 2.8 million of additional spending in 26-27. On line 10 for the meat processing liaison, that's 150,000 in the 24-25 biennium, and that's ongoing, so it's also 150,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 11 for soil health equipment grants, this is one-time additional one-time funding of $2 million in the 24-25 biennium. For cover crops on line 12, it's 1.5 million in the 24-25 biennium and 500,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 13 for the Forever Green Initiative, it's $690,000 of additional spending in 24-25 and also $690,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 14 for the Wolf Livestock Conflict Prevention Program, this is a new program. It's $450,000 of one-time spending in 24-25 biennium. There's also on line 15 for a deer abatement and crop damage report, there's $50,000 in fiscal year 24 of one-time spending. On line 16 for the noxious weeds and invasive plant program, there's $300,000 of additional spending in the 24-25 biennium. On line 17 for wolf depredation payments, there's an additional $80,000 of general fund spending above the base for the 24-25 biennium. On line 18 for elk depredation payments, it's $70,000 of additional spending above the base in the 24-25 biennium. So for the Protection Services Department, the total increase in spending in the 24-25 biennium is 7.2 million approximately in the 24-25 biennium and 4.1 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving on down to promotion and marketing within the Department of Agriculture, looking at line 29. For maintaining current service levels, that's $900,000 in the 24-25 biennium over the base and 1.1 million of additional spending over the base in the 26-27 biennium. For international trade support, this is also new. It's $300,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $300,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For Farm Safety, Health, and Wellness Program, this is $200,000 of one-time spending in the 24-25 biennium. And then for grants to farmers markets hubs, this is also $200,000 of one-time spending in the 24-25 biennium. For a total increase in spending of for promotion and marketing of $1.6 million in the 24-25 biennium and $1.4 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving on to value-added products. This includes Agri and Agreat. So Agri is a grant program within MDA for agricultural growth, research, and innovation. So looking at line 43, there's the Agri Sunset Repeal. So this costs approximately $17.6 million per fiscal year in the tails for a total of $35.16 million in fiscal year 26-27 biennium. For livestock processing grants, there's an additional $2.5 million appropriated through Agri in the 24-25 biennium. For biofuels infrastructure, there's an additional $3 million appropriated in the 24-25 biennium. That's on line 45. On line 46 for the Dairy with an I program, that's $5.5 million of one-time spending in fiscal year 24. For the Farm to School program, this is on line 47. It's $700,000 of increased spending for the Farm to School program and a coordinator. For hemp processing, this is on line 48. It's $500,000 of additional spending in the 24-25 biennium. And then there's also some carve-out increases within Agri. So for the overall program, there are increases in designated spending. So for the bio incentive program, it's $500,000 of increased designated spending in the 24-25 biennium and $500,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the biofuels infrastructure carve-out increase, that's $750,000 just in the 26-27 biennium. That's on line 50. Then lines 51 through 54 change how Agri's kind of set up from allowed spending with like up tos within the bill to designated spending. So for the livestock investment grant program carve out, that's now $3 million in designated spending in the 24-25 biennium and $3 million in the 26-27 biennium. For value-added grants, that's now $2.3 million in designated spending in the 24-25 biennium and $2.3 million in the 26-27 biennium. For the new markets program carve-out, that's now $680,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $680,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And then for the beginning farmer scholarships, that's $900,000 in 24-25 and $900,000 in 26-27 in designated spending. That's on line 54. On line 55, we see an increase appropriation of $1 million in 24-25. This is for Farm Business Challenge grants with Agreat and additional spending in the 26-27 biennium as well. On line 56, this is describing the cultivated wild rice breeding with North Central Research and Outreach Center. This funding is now being shifted onto line 57. It's a $900,000 per fiscal year shift in how towards preservation of wild rice research with grants and other research capabilities. This is on line 57 through Agri in collaboration with Minnesota tribal governments. Then on line 58, there is a carve out for business challenge grants increase in designated spending of $1 million in the 24-25 biennium and $1 million in the 26-27 biennium. So for the total increase in appropriations over the base for value-added products, it's $13.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and $36.16 million in the 26-27 biennium. And again, a lot of that's coming from the repeal of the sunset for Agri. Moving on to admin and financial assistance for MDA, we're looking at line 69 here. So for maintaining current service levels, it's additional $1 million in fiscal year 24-25 biennium and $1.2 million in the 26-27 biennium. For the Rural Finance Authority capacity increase, this is on line 70. It's $300,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $300,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For IT modernization with MDA, this is on line 71. It's an additional $2 million in fiscal year 24-25 biennium. That's a one-time increase. For services to beginning and emerging farmers, this is on line 72. It's $800,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $400,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For a transfer to the Ag Emergency Account on line 73, that's $1.4 million in the 24-25 biennium. For a second harvest Heartland milk allocation of additional funding to second harvest for additional providing milk, it's $500,000 one-time increase in the 24-25 biennium. Then moving on to the Good Acre LEAF program. LEAF stands for Local Emergency Assistance Farmer Fund. This is $600,000 one-time funding in the 24-25 biennium. On line 76 for the Northern Crop Institute, it's $120,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $120,000 in the 26-27 biennium. That's on line 76. And then for Green Seam, this is in the greater Mankato area. It's $400,000 of one-time funding. This is on line 77 of additional funding in the 24-25 biennium. Then moving on to line 78 for the Minnesota Turf Seed Council. That's $150,000 above the base and general fund spending for the 24-25 biennium and $150,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 79 for the Minnesota Poultry Association, that's one-time spending of $2,000 in fiscal year 24. On line 80 for the Minnesota Livestock Breeders Association, that's $36,000 for the 24-25 biennium of one-time funding. For the Minnesota Horticulture Society, this is on line 81. That's $68,000 of additional spending in 24-25. And then on line 82 for farm down payment assistance grants, that's $1 million of additional funding over the base in 24-25 biennium. For the cooperative development grants on line 83, that's $500,000 of additional spending in 24-25. For the meat processing hiring incentives, that's $544,000 in fiscal year 24-25 biennium. For a meat processing technical assistance or training reimbursement, that's $100,000 of one-time spending in fiscal year 24. For the Minnesota Agricultural Education Leadership Council, or MAELC, that's $250,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $250,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And then for the Grain Indemnity Fund transfer, so this is a transfer to a new account created within the Agricultural Fund. It's $14 million in fiscal year 24 transferred towards the Grain Indemnity account. So looking at line 89, you see that's 20 for admin and financial services within MDA. It's approximately $23.8 million of additional spending of general fund spending above the base in the 24-25 biennium and $2.4 million in the 26-27 biennium. And then for overalls, there on line 100, you'll see there is the Oriented Strand Board repeal. This is a statutory general fund appropriation coming that would appropriate $1.5 million towards the Oriented Strand for Oriented Strand Board incentives. So $1.5 million in fiscal year 25. Then it would be up to $3 million per fiscal year, starting in fiscal year 26 through fiscal year 2034. This would, within the bill, it repeals this incentive, which then opens up those funds, general fund spending for other other opportunities within the bill. So that's 1.5 million of less spending towards the Oriented Strand Board appropriation in 24-25 and 6 million in the 26-27 biennium. Just for a total on line 105 in column G, you'll see that the total MDA general fund change is 44.26 million. And then in 26-27, it's 38.1 million, and that's in column I. And that concludes MDA. So moving on to the Board of Animal Health for their change items, looking at line 111. For maintaining current service levels, that's $480,000 in 24-25 biennium and $640,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the emergency response increase, that's $720,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $720,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And then for the companion animal import quarantine, that's $340,000 in 24-25 and $340,000 in 26-27. Looking at a total change for the Board of Animal Health here on line 115 of approximately 1.5 million for the 24-25 biennium and 1.7 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving on to AURI, A-U-R-I, or the Agricultural Utilization Research Institute, looking at their change items starting on line 124. So for maintaining current service levels, we have $200,000 of additional general fund spending in the 24-25 biennium and $200,000 in the 26-27 biennium. To replace equipment and facility upgrades, that's 1.5 million of one-time spending in the 24-25 biennium. And for renewable natural gas and digestion projects, which is a new program, that's $500,000 of new spending in the 24-25 biennium. For a total general fund change of 2.2 million for the AURI in 24-25 biennium and 200,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And now moving on to Deed Office of Broadband, you'll find this in Article 3 of the bill. So for their change items for the border-to-border broadband grants on line 137, it's 30 million per fiscal year for a total of 60 million for the 24-25 biennium. That's one-time appropriation. And then for the low-density program for broadband, it's 20 million per fiscal year for 24-25 for a total of 40 million for the 24-25 biennium. That's also a one-time increase. And as you can see on line 140 in column G, that's a 100 million increase over the base, which matches the target for Deed Office of Broadband. Looking down at line 151, that shows the total net general fund. In column G, you can see the 148 million, and in column I, you can see the 40 million for the tails, which matches the target. And then just for your information, on line 154, there is a federal match for the meat processing liaison. So there's also $75,000 per fiscal year of federal matching funds for the meat processing liaison. And with that, I can move into talking about Article 1, if you'd like. Or I can
Yes,
answer any
unless there are questions about the spreadsheet, why don't you go ahead and start going through the bill?
Okay, so Article 1 basically follows what I just walked through with the spreadsheet, but there are a few things I would like to highlight within Article 1. So on page 2, looking at the Soil Health Financial Assistance Program, look on lines 32 through 35, the appropriations are available until June 30th, 2027. So I just wanted to highlight that. And then moving on to page 6, of the amount appropriated, just a moment. So on page 6, starting on line 5 through line 1.7, of the 1.25 million appropriated for cover crops. 1 million of it is to support Kernza, perennial grain, winter, and a bunch of other different nuts and berries. Those funds are available until June 30th, 2027. On page 7, for the Minnesota grown appropriation, looking at lines looking at line 14, any funds that are encumbered on June 30th, 2025 are available until June 30th, 2027. Let's see here. On page 10, notwithstanding, so this is looking at the bio incentive payments. So looking at on page 10, lines 26, any appropriations made in the first year are available until June 30th, 2025, and in the second year until June 30th, 2026. And then moving on to the Dairy with an I program, this is on page 13, lines 16 through 20. Any unencumbered balance at the end of the second year does not cancel until June 30th, 2026. It may be used for other, and may be used within the dairy program. Then. On page, just to highlight for you, on page 21, lines 24 through 27, that's the transfer to the grain indemnity account that I mentioned before. And then, and as with the amendment on page 22.5, on page 22, lines 20 through 21, the funds, as I mentioned in the amendment before, the funds appropriated in the first year are available until the end of fiscal year 25, and the funds appropriated in the second year are available until the end of fiscal year 26. And just looking at AURI on page 24, the one-time appropriation for equipment upgrades is available until June 30th, 2026. This is described on page 24, lines 11 through 13. And for the $500,000 for renewable natural gas projects, this is right below that. Looking at on lines 16 through 17, the one-time appropriation is available until June 30th, 2026. And that summarizes most of the appropriation, summarizes things I wanted to highlight within Article 1. In Article 3, you can also see the appropriations to the Deed Office of Broadband. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I believe Ms. Painter can.
Thank you, Mr. Olofsson. And on the fact that you're extending the use of appropriations extra year in many cases, it's creative when you only have one-time funding and trying to make it stretch. Mr. Nauman, did you have any comment on?
So, Mr. Chair, given that this is the Senate Finance Committee and this is a central issue for the committee to at least be aware of, as members know, the budgetary balance in the February forecast is roughly $18 billion in change. I don't mean to undersell that point. There's $18.5 billion of available balance, but about 12.5 of that is one-time carried forward from 22-23 into the 24-25 biennium. So I think the committee can anticipate seeing bills making longer availability of dollars because the tails are frankly tighter than the resources available in 24 and 25. So I've asked fiscal staff to highlight those in the appropriation articles when they come forth, because it does mean that there would be a longer availability of dollars, but then there would be, of course, an end to those dollars. So I think that's why you're seeing both presentations today highlight those points.
Ms. Painter, go ahead.
Mr. Chair and members, our Article 2, the agricultural policy article, all of the policy provisions relate to appropriations or transfers in some way. So I'm not going to go through the article in detail, but I do want to draw your attention to the grain indemnity program that starts with Section 6 on page 38. This is a new state program that would mostly replace the current bonding requirements for grain buyers.
Ms. Painter, could you speak a little bit louder, please? A little closer, Mike.
Sorry about
Thank
that.
you.
Is this better? Okay. So producers would pay a premium on each grain sale with those funds forwarded to the grain indemnity account. Premiums would be collected when the account drops below $9 million, and it's being funded at $14 million in this bill, so that would not happen for some time. In the event of a grain buyer or warehouse operator breaching a contract, the producer could file a claim and receive a payment from this fund. So that's probably the biggest policy change in this bill.
And Senator Putnam, you want to speak briefly to the grain indemnity provisions in the bill?
Certainly, if you like, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Mr. Olson and Ms. Painter for their thorough and insightful description of the bill and for all their work on it over the past couple weeks. Mr. Chair, members, I told you earlier, I started off by saying that I've been going to meetings with farmers over the past couple months. And we met in Faribault with probably, I'm going to say 100 farmers in the room. Conservatively, I would say at least 10 of them brought up the need for a grain indemnity fund. And when it was brought up, everyone else in the room applauded. I know that the policy seems a little bit complicated, and there's some tricky parts to it here and there. But one thing that is completely undeniable is that this is something that farmers want and need. And members, those of us who listened to this proposal when it came before us in the Ag Committee cannot help but remember some of the stories we heard of people's entire livelihoods being ruined. So basically what the Grain Indemnity Fund does is it provides some assurance for if a farmer's storing some grain in a grain elevator, should that operator go bankrupt or should that elevator go down, that farmer will be made whole. Currently there is a bond system. That bond system is totally underutilized and it pays out roughly 11 cents on the dollar. If your entire livelihood, your entire income for a whole year goes up in flames, and you get 11 cents on the dollar back, that's not good enough. Mr. Chair, members, the Grain Indemnity Fund is essential, and funding it at the level where it is solvent is also essential. I will fight very hard to keep the resources in this bill so that farmers are held innocent of premiums, because we need to set the program up right so it does the good it needs to do.
Thank you. Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Chair Marty, and thank you, Senator Putnam, for bringing the bill forward. I know the target is probably lower than I would have liked to seen in this area and what I think the needs will be in the future. But I have a bunch of questions or clarifications, if I could, Chair. On this new program, you are implementing a sales tax, more or less, on the purchases of grain. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair, Senator Draheim, I'm not entirely sure that I would characterize it that way.
Sale of grain.
It is, as I said before, if the program is solvent, the premiums don't kick in. Although I was visiting with my friend Pierce from the Farmers Bureau right before this session, I think 15 or 16 other states already have grain indemnity programs. And my understanding is that in Iowa, they've struggled with keeping it solvent. And that's why I want to do it right when we get it started.
Chair.
Senator Draheim.
Thank you. And I'm not questioning the need.
Sure.
And we've, it's been a few years since I've served on the Ag Committee, but it seems like every year there is an issue that arises from an elevator that didn't do the proper record keeping, if you will. But you're front loading the program with 14 million. You have a floor of 9 million and a ceiling of 15 million. And your intent is to keep it between those two numbers with more or less a sales tax on the grain when it reaches that floor of 9 million. And then when someone goes to collect a claim, let's say an elevator goes out, the good commissioner, whoever that would be at the time, would then have the job of trying to figure out who gets what. And how have you equalized the different prices in grain on those payments? So if I'm an organic farmer with some specialty crop versus Farmer Westrom here with just your average corn or soybeans, and my price being higher, how is that accounted for, I guess, in the payments from the commissioner to the farmers that would be out of luck, if you will?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Graham. That's a great question. You know, and it is going to be administered through MDA. And I will say that Commissioner Peterson is one of the most stalwart advocates for this program. So I'm pretty clear that he has a good idea of his capacity to administer the program and his staff's ability to understand the most reasonable, rational, and fair way to compensate people when things do go bad. And Senator Graham, I do want to thank you for bringing up the frequency in which this occurs, because that's something I neglected to mention. This happens about every year. About every year, a grain elevator goes down. And virtually every year, some family can go bankrupt if we don't take care of this problem responsibly.
Chair?
Yes, by the way, we will have Commissioner Peterson speak to the committee briefly if he wishes to do so, but go ahead.
I guess my question still is, how is the payments calculated, I guess? You know, I know there's been issue after issue like we talked about, but I haven't studied the language extensively, but glancing at it, I didn't really see how it was supposed to be specified on the payment side. So I would just, you know, make sure we have it right if we're going to do this program, just to make sure that, you know, I see some floors and ceilings here, but I just don't, because there is a huge difference in value of grain depending on what type of grain it is. So I don't know if the commissioner is available or someone from his staff.
Mr. Chair, Senator Graham, perhaps this would be helpful too as we look forward, and again, asking the commissioner or someone else to provide a little bit more granular detail. Granular detail. Thank you.
I got it.
We see in the bill lines 42.1 to 42.17, subdivision 5, that discusses some of the mechanics of how it gets paid out. But I'm not sure that's going to get to the nuances in your question. And if we do really want to unpack it, I think it would be useful if Commissioner Peterson or someone from MDA would perhaps should be able to drill down a little bit tighter
Perhaps
for you.
I wanted to invite him up to speak to the committee about the bill in general, but maybe if you want to come up now, Commissioner, and comment on this as well as the bill in general, because we're in the middle of a good discussion of it. So, welcome to the committee. Thank you for being here. And you can speak to the bill in general as well as to the specific Grain Indemnity Fund.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman and members, Tom Peterson, Commissioner for the Minnesota Department of Agriculture. I'll speak briefly to the bill and then just talk about the grain indemnity account. You know, I really appreciate the work that Senator Putnam put in. The Department of Agriculture, when we put together a bill this year, we did an open process. We started in August. We opened a portal for the public to comment on what they would like to see in the bill. And so we heard from farmers from all parts of the state. I think we had over 300 and some comments, which is fantastic. And then we put together the governor's agriculture bill based on that. And I just say that in this bill that Senator Putnam's put together, most of our priorities are reflected of the governor's priorities are reflected in this bill, whether it's meat processing, ag emergencies. I was in Wilmer yesterday talking about avian influenza, emerging farmers, as he said, bringing in that next generation, really looking at these worthwhile investments that we had. This is you know, some people, when we talk about the budget and the ag target and where we fit, this is a big number and a big investment in agriculture. So I really appreciate that. There's also things in here that weren't in the governor's budget that I think are very important, like our dairy industry, supporting that. That kind of developed after we started this bill process, but we dropped under 2,000 dairy farms in the state for the first time, and we have a great chance. We did this in 2019. We invested some money into dairy to try to get dairy farmers to enroll in the federal program with the insurance and gave them an incentive, and it worked. We had the record number of farmers enroll, and they have that protection. So even though we're losing dairy farms, we're not losing as many. And so we're working on it. Very appreciate that. And, Senator Putnam represents Stearns County. It's not one of the #1 dairy counties in the whole country. And so just really important to our economy. But even down into Senator Draheim's district, Senator Westrom, we have a lot of dairy farms spread across the state. We also put investments into co-op grants, something that I'm very excited about. We see hemp and all the different things were mentioned in the Forever Green, or if we're going to build out these different commodities, we need a co-op type structure is one of the best ways to get going. So there's really good things, I think, in this bill too. When I look at it for agriculture, I always look at it and I say, what's in it for this farmer? You know, there's something for corn growers in this. There's something for farmers markets in this bill. There's something for everybody in this agriculture bill. So with that, I just have to say the other important piece, which is I think a legacy piece in this bill, is the grain indemnity account. This is something that we've been working on for many years. Senator Dames had the first bill, I think, in 2017 on this grain indemnity when he had a failure in his district in Porter. We followed that up with failures in Senator Gazelka, that time's district, Senator Johnson's district, where we have farmers that are forced to file bankruptcy because the state, Minnesota, has the worst protection of any state in the upper Midwest for our grain farmers. And so the last couple of failures, as Senator Draheim was saying down in his area, were organic farmers who go through the process and work in the organic grain market and go through that 3-year process, really work on marketing that and take a risk to do something different, something we all talk about. Let's try to incentivize those organic farms. And they weren't protected. You know, and some of those farmers we heard, and visiting with them, hundreds of thousands of dollars, crippling their piece. Our bonding system that we have is, as Senator Putnam said, did not keep up. And so what we've done the last couple of years is, and Senator Westrom's worked on this too. We made changes the last couple of years and tried to work on this and get it right, but we keep coming back to what's the protection. And I get it as commissioner. You know, as farmers say, this has happened again and again and again. What are you doing differently? So what the administration did, what Senator Kupek did, what Senator Putnam was to bring forward an idea and something that this is what we're doing. This is what we're putting forward. So when this happens again and somebody asks us, what are we doing? This is what we're doing. And so there's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross on this, and we've been getting there. I imagine in conference committee there's going to be more things that we'll continue to work on and put out. But the support that we want to give to our farmers is important. We mentioned that it's in other states. This similar, Senator, to the corn checkoff that's collected when when a farmer sells a bushel of corn, a bushel of soybeans. This is on a dollar amount. If you look at the bill, it's not by bushel, it's by dollar amount. So an organic farmer has a certain amount of dollars they sell. That's what they're indemnifying, not the bushel and that price cost. It really depends on how much you have stored. You could be a non-organic farmer and have obviously a full amount. And there's caps in that too that are placed in that bill. And this is something that we've, tried to look at. We've tried to make it so that it's refundable if needed. And I'm trying to think of one more point I wanted to make to your piece. But I just feel like this is a really important piece, and I appreciate your consideration, appreciate everybody's work on this, and it's something we'll continue to work on as we go forward. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thanks for being here. And it does sound like the program was well designed, but I mean, I just know what it means when somebody loses everything they have in a situation like this, and we'll hope we prevent that from happening some.
Chair.
Senator Draheim, you were asking questions on, or discussing that one.
Yeah, and I'm not against the program, I just want to understand it and make sure we all are on the same page. So I hope people aren't assuming I'm against it because I'm asking questions. We all know it's been a problem that I've served on the Ag Committee and live in the Ag community. So it looks like you have a kind of a step-down approach on the payments. And you have different days for the deposit. Can you, Senator Putnam or Commissioner, can you get into why you go from 180 days to 120 days and kind of fluctuate there, and what the rationale was on that?
Mr. Chairman, and I am not always the best on this. One other thing I wanted to say before I try to answer that was, raising fees is like the last thing I want to do. And I really talked to a lot of farmers about this. So this does set like a floor on this, by the way. I do have the ability on different accounts like ACRA to raise fees already. And we take that very seriously when we have to lower and raise those. I think what we see there is the different types of sales have different types of days. So you have like direct sales or when the voluntary extension of credits, there's different types of sales, and that's why you have the days on that, is my understanding.
Senator Draheim, continue.
Thank you. I'd like to pivot if I could a little bit. Let's see. Sorry, I was taking notes on this. I guess we kind of covered that. On the Board of Animal Health, I know there was a lot of discussion this year on keeping it together or breaking it into two. Can you just bring us up to date on, and I know there's some money in here for different things with the board, but is it still intact?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Draheim, for that question. It is. We have funded it at the level it was requested to be funded, and we have not changed it structurally.
Thank you. And if I could, two more questions. On the small meat packing bill that we've had a lot of discussion, Senator Putnam, on that, and what the effect would be in my area and Senator Francis' area for those small but bigger local meat packing. I don't even call them meat packing because they're really not. They're just a butcher shop, if you will. Where is that bill at? I know it was traveling in the labor bill, but there's some money in here for the meat packing industry. Is any of this tied to that bill that is traveling in labor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Draheim. Yeah, that's a completely separate issue, though. You're talking about Senate File 207 that is housed within the Labor Committee because it deals almost entirely just with labor relations and labor statute. So it's not endemic to ag. However, the stuff that you see, this other stuff, has nothing to do with that. It's really all about setting up and sponsoring and encouraging the growth of a brand new small industry. So one of the things that you can tell is that we don't have enough people who are skilled and trained and able to pursue this vocation. So there are one of the piles of money you see in there are grants for people to go to college to learn how to become a butcher. There's also some grants for startup costs because it too can be fairly capital intensive, though not as much as you would anticipate. So these are really about setting up an industry and protecting the smallest people when they get started when they're doing this. And it has nothing to do with the other bill that you're talking about.
Thank you. And thank you, Senator Putnam, for that. I think we all can agree on that. And then I guess I have two more questions. One, on the repealer page, that emerging farmers, and I don't know if this is a nonpartisan question or a Senator Putnam question, but why is that portion repealed again on 17.055?
Mr. Chair, Senator Draheim, I'm not sure if I should just say what the commissioner just told me in my ear or if I should let him answer it on its own. But essentially what it does is it repeals the working group, not the sunset date for the working group.
Thank you. And then my last comment, and I guess question probably to fiscal staff, I know we front-loaded a lot of dollars into the broadband program. In Senator Putnam, we've had discussions about how important broadband is, and thank you for the funding on that. But I know last year we funded quite a bit, and I know the federal government threw some money at us also. And I know in discussions and having carried a lot of the broadband bills over the last 6 years here, that the agency could only handle so much per year. And I was just curious how much was left in that broadband account moving forward? And if you've had any discussion with the great agency that we have, the broadband department, on how much they can handle and get out, and how much can the industry handle to do that work? Because I know we have a shortage of skilled labor.
Mr. Chair, if I may just respond kind of globally before we turn it over to Mr. Nauman or someone else who might know the actual math a little bit better than I do. I'm glad you brought this up, Senator Ham, because it's important, I think, to be deliberate and thorough in our discussion of broadband. There are 291,000 households in the state of Minnesota that don't have access to broadband. That is absolutely shameful. So I'm glad that we are taking the step to invest in solving this problem. And the way we've set up our funding of broadband in this budget is $30 million to the border-to-border program and $20 million for a different program, a new program that they're starting just now for low-density coverage. Because you got people who live at the end of the street and don't have coverage, but everyone on the other end of the street does. So we got to find a way to really prioritize those people who are completely underserved in those areas where it's more expensive to help them out. So just quickly, that's the kind of breakdown and why we funded 20 and 30 for these 2 years. I had extensive conversations with Ms. Mackey and Mr. Boker from DEED about their capacity, because we talked about this in jobs once, I think. And I said, is it true that there's a potential bottleneck or an inability to spend the resources that they get? And you probably won't be surprised that the answer was, give us as much as you can. We'll find a way to get it to the people who need it to take care of the problems that we've got. So I did consult with DEED a number of times on their capacity to spend the resources. And, you know, we do also have an additional $130 million coming in matching funds from the federal government. So there are a lot of resources going into this, and we're going to do the right thing, but it's a complicated thing. So, Mr. Nauman, if you know something about the balance, I would defer to you.
Mr. Nauman or Mr. Olafson, either of you.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Olafson and I have been trading messages. I don't think either of us have the specific answer to the question, but we can certainly follow up with the committee on that. We do know that there was expenditures of about
Mr. Chair,
$25 million.
Ms. Mackey, who is in charge of DEED,
okay,
is
great.
broadband
That's even
office,
better.
is here.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Committee. My name is Bree Mackey, and I'm the Executive Director at the Office of Broadband Development. Just for clarity on what you would like specifically answered to the question, can you repeat the question?
Go ahead, Senator Drahan.
Thank you. I was just curious about the funding that we had done last year and then the federal funds. What kind of was the balance and then adding on to this and then the capacity?
Sure, thank you.
So maybe, Ms. Mackey, and explain it, maybe how much is coming from the feds right now, how much is with this money, and how much the capacity, how much the need is as well.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee questions. So currently, right now, we have the $100 million that we awarded in December. All of that has been allocated, and that did include federal funding through Capital Projects Fund for a low-density pilot program, which had $30 million in it, as well as $15 million in the line extension pieces that are in this next grant. So the $67 million that is currently being reviewed, going through the challenge process, all of that. So we have the $100 million, and now, right now, staff is working diligently on the $67 million. Once that is all spent and allocated, which, by the way, we had over $180 million worth of requests in this grant round for a total of minus the 15 plus a little density, so about $50,000 million in there, taking the other out. $180 million in requests. And so we can see we are not going to meet those goals with the dollars we have. That being said, once all of this is allocated, that's all we have. without this dedicated funding that you are all talking about. As far as the federal dollar match that is coming, we do know that it is coming through the IIJA funding. However, we're still getting guidance from NTIA on when that dollar amount will come and how much it will be. In June, we should have the FCC maps out there, and that will have our designated dollar amount. Originally, it was somewhere around the 600 million to 800 million that Minnesota would get. Now remember, all the states went through the map challenge process. So though we are being told that 100 million guaranteed, it's still somewhat competitive based on the needs in other states. Now, a little more wonky is just to share. So we're in the middle of our BEAD, or our digital, our IIJA infrastructure planning process. The initial plan for the plan is due in July. Our first plan proposal is due at the end of December. We have a year after that in order to have our final plan. So if we had to look at time frame, potentially we may not have usable infrastructure funds in Minnesota until the end of 2025. So with that being said, or 2024. So that being said, if we don't fund it, we will stall after, as far as funding new programs. Addressing your workforce question, Minnesota has a great model as far as incrementally doing grant rounds so that our ISPs, our grantees, can plan, they can financially prepare, and they can also have all of the supplies and resources they need in those grant rounds versus one giant grant round and waiting around. So if we continue on this trajectory that we have done, I have full confidence that Minnesota and our office specifically as well can administer the dollars as forth of Senator Putnam has put before us in this bill.
Senator Draheim.
Thank you. And so we have 200 and some households left, 200 and some thousand, just for clarification. So how many households did we serve with that $100 million last year that were sold out? Do we keep track of that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator, I would have to double check, but I think, if I'm recollecting right, it was about 33,000 households that were served in the 100 million. But please don't put that on paper as verbatim, but have those numbers broken down, as well as once we do award these, we would have additional numbers of what's being served.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Ms. Mackey and Senator Putnam. Broadband's very important, but at some point we have to see the end of this program, and hopefully with all the resources that the hundreds of millions of dollars of tax dollars we're putting towards this, we should be getting close to the end. And if we're not going to be able to finish, then maybe we need to pivot and try a new technology at a lower cost. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Mackey? If not, thank you very much. Senator Putnam, other comments, other things you have? Otherwise, we can move to discussion and amendments from the committee. Very quiet committee. Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, one of the areas, maybe a few comments, and then I'd like to move into an amendment, the A32. But we talked about the grain indemnity fund, and one of the concerns I've continued to hear from farmers or farm groups and some.
Excuse me, Senator Westrom, is it okay to hand out the amendment?
Yeah, it is. Go ahead. You can hand it out. It's kind of being dubbed as a voluntary program, but it's really not voluntary because everybody still has to pay in and then wait till the end of the year to get their money back if they do the paperwork and submit it. And so I hope we can continue to try to find a better way to do that. It strikes me, Senator Putnam, that there would actually be a little time to maybe try to come up with a better voluntary system, especially with the front funding, one-time money, because the assessment is when the system has to be really ready to be voluntary. And so I hope I can continue to talk and work with you on that. One of the other areas that's in here and we talked about in committee is cottage food is a big emerging area of a lot of, not new farmers necessarily, but new business owners, and many of them tied to a farm or farm some type of farmer's market or other source of crops that they're raising in a small truck farm or other resources that they get. But they're really being hamstrung by the inflation and the costs of what they can do, how much they can do in their operation and still be within the guidelines. And so, Mr. Chair and Senator Putnam, I guess I know on our committee we had hearings on some bills looking at a small increase or expansion of the caps of the two different categories of cottage foods, as well as one of the things they really brought to us is, and it was really brought out during COVID especially, but the ability to be able to not make everybody drive to their shop or hand it to them in person, but rather have a way to ship it to them, to customers that works in other states. And so I guess, Mr. Chair, I'd move the A32 amendment with the idea that Senator Putnam, I'd be interested in any openness or ability to try to work on these two issues. Specifically, the A32 would just do what we ultimately amended and passed in the Ag Committee for possible consideration, which would expand the two caps slightly, and then just clarify or open up the ability for these products, cottage food entrepreneurs, to be able to ship them by mail or ship them by a third party, a food Grubhub or some other delivery mechanism if it's not them specifically. So, Mr. Chair, I'm hoping we can at least try to address these two smaller problems or issues to the cottage food industry as we had amended it in committee and then laid it over. I tend to recall most of the committee supported the change in the amendment, but Senator Putnam, I guess I'd be interested in your thoughts or comments and of the A32 language.
Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Westrom, for bringing up this issue. You did mention sort of two things. I'll go through them in order, if I may. Initially, the conversation about the Grain Indemnity Fund and the preference for an opt-in rather than an opt-out. You may or not recall that when we had a discussion about this, when we had the hearing in the Agriculture Committee on this issue, the only individual in the room who opposed the Grain Indemnity Plan, someone who was representing grain elevators, said that an opt-in was not feasible, was simply not practical. And she who opposed the procedure didn't want to have it as an opt-in and preferred the opt-out procedure. I can't explain because I'm wasn't fully able to have her completely articulate her reasons for why that was the case, but I do think that that's telling. And that if we keep the grain indemnity program solvent, it will not have the consequences that are concerning to some. Now, in terms of the cottage food proposal, I think there's some great ideas in this. And I've had a number of conversations with Senator Liskey, who was the one who originally proposed this, and we worked pretty hard on this together. And I've also had a number of conversations with the Cottage Food Association advocates. And the last conversation I had was maybe like 3 weeks ago. And we had a very in-depth conversation about what they want and how we can do it. In particular, the ability to mail or deliver, that seems like a no-brainer. That's an obvious fix that I would support. And there are provisions in this amendment that I do support. But in my conversation, a number of conversations with the folks who advocate for this bill, for these changes, we were able to come to the conclusion that it's not quite ready yet. We're unclear about the fiscal consequences. We're not entirely sure how it's going to work out. And so in my conversations with those folks, they said, yes, we will absolutely keep working on this. There are some great ideas in here, but it's not going to fit in the bill this year. And they were comfortable with that and with the promise that we would continue to work on it and take care of it next year.
Further discussion on the Westrom 832. Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Senator Putnam, while there may be a whole host of changes, it sounds like there's an opportunity to take the 832 as a friendly amendment and do just the delivery piece?
Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senator Pratt. I'm not sure that I'm ready to do that quite yet, because again, we don't know how that's going to operate either. The larger issue here that a lot of these other changes are pivoting around have to do with how a cottage food industry or purveyor is characterized legally as an individual or as an entity. That is a core problem that needs to be sorted first before some of these other issues are ironed out. And that's one of the things that we got stuck on. But we made tremendous progress. And I am very confident that we're going to be able to take care of this pretty soon. And I'll say it on the record that I want to fix this problem. But it's just not there quite yet because of how some of these issues intertwine.
Mr. Chair.
Senator Pratt.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Putnam, I guess I'm a little bit confused because you mentioned that there were things in this amendment that you could support, but the concerns you have don't appear to be in the amendment. And Mr. Chair, if I may ask Senator Westrom, those concerns that Senator Putnam just raised, are they in your amendment?
Well, Mr. Chair, Senator Pratt, the LLC issue, which is what I think he's raising, is not in the amendment, and it's intentionally that seems to be either something they say they can get worked out, or it's not quite as much peace in the valley, if you will. This is more narrowly focused, I guess I would submit, that it's just literally raising the caps that have been raised by the legislature in the past, off and on, dealing with inflation. These are mainly inflation raising caps. So Senator Putnam, I don't quite understand where it's not ready for it, because it's just a matter of picking a number, and we've picked a number before. But the other part I did hear you say seemed like maybe you'd be more open to just the shipping thing. This would just clarify for those businesses that they could have a third-party delivery or a mail option. And I guess Senator Pratt beat me to it, but I was going to ask you, it sounded to me like you'd be open to that part of it if dividing the amendment would be helpful to you at this point in time. I think that would be a pretty big step forward for those 5,000 plus cottage food industry folks that have really found this to be a niche business that they can flourish. And I guess, Senator Putnam, would you consider just the shipping part, that we clarify that in this language? And it seems to me we should be able to raise the caps as well, but I'm not sitting in the chair you're sitting in, so I'd like to figure out if there's some things we could work on. Just a little more history of Senator Putnam. I think I've maybe mentioned this in committee, but for the Finance Committee, this LLC structure thing, I remember getting commitments from the agency that they were going to get it solved when I was chair, and regrettably, it's still not solved. And so there is a time where sometimes we have to legislate, and sometimes I actually think that helps the agency just push through what otherwise there seems to be a few different of opinions, and the person that happens to be the strongest opinion in the room prevails temporarily. And I guess on this language, I think these are pretty insignificant, but changes, but significant to the folks that are using the cottage food laws to better themselves, better their families, and market niche products at farmers markets and different mung farmers to truck farmers across all of Minnesota. This cottage food industry is a great niche in our state, and I just think if we can improve it and keep improving it, and this would do that. So, Senator Putnam, any thoughts or any room we could find to work out even the shipping part of it?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Pratt and Senator Westrom, for the discussion. So my understanding from conversations in the context of the debate that we had both in the Ag Committee and in private conversations with the advocates who support this is that some of these changes were in fact predicated on the question of how you label or designate a business that is doing it, so that that change would be necessary to occur before we did some of these other things. But if that is not the case, I am open to accepting merely the component of delivery and mail as a friendly amendment. But the rest of this still needs to be worked on pretty significantly. But if that is not, if I could ask Commissioner Peterson perhaps to come up to help with this a little bit, because my understanding was that these changes were a function of the deeper change of how we designated a cottage food industry. If that is not the case, and this change about mailing or delivery can be done innocent to the rest of the bill with no greater consequences or expense, I will accept it as a friendly amendment.
Welcome to the committee. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the committee, for having. For the record, my name is Andrea Vobble. I serve as Deputy Commissioner at the Minnesota Department of Agriculture. To speak to the amendment generally, as Chair Putnam mentioned, our preference is to have a larger conversation around the food licensing structure as it exists today. We understand that how businesses operate right now, it is not functional within the sort of antiquated licensing system that we've had for years. So we have committed to a number of folks, including cottage food producers, that we would like to have a conversation this year about bringing everybody together to really talk about how we can center this differently. Again, we also, of course, as we've talked many times in the Ag Committee about the importance of our mission and how serious we take that, one of the things is about the integrity of the food supply. So our concern, I think, with the delivery process is understanding that there are fantastic cottage food producers, and we absolutely understand their desire for this, but we feel from a food safety perspective, this is not a thing that we can say is a good idea in terms of it takes away the ability for that person-to-person contact and also grows the significant impact that you have as a food producer that we, again, don't have food safety controls to be able to understand the implication. So just from a food safety perspective, this is not something we are comfortable with, but we are absolutely willing and able and have said on the record that we are happy to continue talking about this and figure out how we can help these businesses grow, but also, again, ensuring that we're looking at building out a new licensing structure that accommodates this type of business structure.
Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Vobble, I think you just gave us a clear example of why this is stuck in the mud, because you want to keep it all linked together. These issues are not linked. We raised the caps a couple of years ago without changing the LLC structure issue that you're talking about. The sky did not fall. Things actually are flourishing better. You have more licensees now, as I recall, than you did 2 and 4 years ago. It seems to be a bureaucratic roadblock that we're running into, and not the wish of the legislature and the legislators that are hearing from their constituents. And other states allow the shipping. It's your agency that seems to be the roadblock that doesn't want to give on this for an inexplainable reason. They're not linked to the LLC issue. We had the LLC discussion a few years ago. It was supposed to be clear that these entities could become LLCs, but then we heard now that the department is still requiring them to put their personal names on along with the LLCs. But don't couple this matter with that. That one we've left for you guys to continue to work out. You say you're going to work it out, but we're going on 1 and 2 years now, and you haven't worked it out. These are simple changes. And so what you said, I didn't hear anything in there that said the shipping can't work. It's just you want to keep it all tied together so you can basically try to negotiate or use that as leverage for a new licensing structure that you're trying to push through. Correct me where I'm wrong, but that's what I just heard you say.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Senator Westrom, for continuing the conversation. And one thing very quickly, that I understand there has been some frustration on this issue in the past, and there has been frustration between the advocates and the agency, but that frustration has gone both ways. I can say for my part, without hesitation and on the record, and however else I need to convince you, I will continue to work on this, and this will get done next year. There are some incredible opportunities in cottage food production in this state, and we need to support that industry and help it grow. But we need to do so intentionally with an awareness of and an understanding of how these different issues do actually impact the flourishing of the industry. Now, that being said, I am convinced by your argument, Senator Westrom, that the question of shipping and delivery is perhaps independent of some of these other concerns. So I'm willing to accept that as a divided, separate, friendly amendment, but the rest of the conversation will keep going. But Senator Westrom, I promise you, the conversation will finish, because I will make it so, and we will get some change on this in the next year.
I'm
Mr. Chair.
I'm always hesitant to do policy amendments in the Finance Committee. I think it's more appropriate for other committees, but with that, Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, and I would take Senator Putnam's suggestion as friendly, and if council could just help divide the amendment or delete the part of the language that wouldn't deal with the shipping, I'd offer that as an oral or a modified amendment.
I assume you're talking about the language between page 1, lines 12 through 21, roughly? Ms. Painter, you want to go ahead?
Mr. Chair and members, I think you would be deleting lines 1.22 onwards and retaining the language, the language of section 4.
Mr. Chair, I think that's correct. So I'd move that as an oral amendment.
So Senator Westrom, why don't we just, in other words, why don't you just move section 4 of your amendment, lines 1.1 through line 21?
So, Mr. Chair, I'd move section 4 of the A32 amendment as the modified language to this amendment.
Deputy Commissioner, is that the language they would want to do that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Commissioner? Yes.
So, Mr. Chair,
Go
just
ahead.
to clarify, if Senator Westrom is willing to incorporate in his amendment that he has prepared, the A32, the deletion of lines 1.22 through 2.12, then I think you would be left with the pieces that Ms. Painter has identified and Senator Westrom has said are the provisions that he's comfortable proceeding with.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I agree with what Mr. Nauman just said.
On the Westrom A32 as with those changes incorporated, discussion. If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. Senator Draheim.
Just a real quick comment on this discussion, and I didn't know we'd be talking about this today. Great discussion, but I just think it's kind of ironic that we fund a whole bunch of different programs to teach beginning business to open an LLC. We have consultants after consultants after consultants telling them to protect their assets, even if they have small sales, like what is described currently in statute. They pay the same taxes, and they get a K-1, and it flows through them. But just for those on the committee that haven't had the opportunity to open multiple businesses, this is standard practice. This is what is recommended by our own agencies or our partners, community development funds, or SBA, or some region XYZ. group that we help fund to educate people to start their business. So I hope, and I know Senator Putnam will work on this, but I think we have to get beyond the fact that someone has an LLC. And I think the sales volume would address the size of an entity. So you don't have a General Mills, and nothing against General Mills, selling product as one of these entities. But just to remember that, members, that this is what we recommend. This is what we preach to people starting out. So thank you.
Further discussion? If not, Senator Mohammed moves that Senate File 1955 as amended be recommended to pass. Is there further discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. You got done by 4 o'clock. I'm impressed.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just very quickly, I neglected to thank the people I should have thanked, but especially some people who were sitting at the table. Senator Westrom and Senator Dames, both been incredibly helpful in constructing this bill, and I'm proud of the fact that there were 8 affirmative votes for this and only 1 abstention. So I appreciate your unanimous support of something that our committee supported unanimously. But not only did we vote on it unanimously, we constructed it bipartisanly, with a focus on solving problems. And I appreciate the spirit that all the members of the Ag Committee brought to that work.
I think you've done good work, and I really excited to see about the grain fund. That should help prevent a lot of problems. And thanks to the staff, Mr. Olafson now.
Correct.
Congratulations on the new name.
Oh, thank you.
And Ms. Painter and all the staff. Thank you very much. With that, tomorrow we're going to start at 9 a.m. We're going to be doing judiciary and public safety, then jobs, labor, and commerce. I believe in that order. Committee's been efficient today. We'll hope it continues tomorrow. But with that, is there any, if no further business, this committee is adjourned.